Good afternoon, this is Dennis Fletcher with Hemet News. It's Friday, October 30th at 2:40 in the afternoon, and we're here at the Democratic headquarters of the Hemet and San Jacinto Democratic Party Club, located on Florida Avenue. And I have with me here the Vice President of the Democratic Club, Judy Rice, and Malcolm Lilienthal, who is running for City Council for District 3. And as Malcolm did with his interview with the Republican Party, he's now here visiting the Democratic Party to answer their questions so they can see how he stands on some of the critical issues they're concerned about. So at this point, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Judy Rice. She'll introduce herself, and then I'm going to ask Malcolm to introduce himself, and then we'll start with the questions. So Judy, would you like to tell us a little bit about the club here?
I'm Vice President of the Democratic Club of Hemet, San Jacinto. We have had this building for approximately 8 years, and I love it because it's a place where we can meet and greet people, keep things going, and know that the Democratic Party is here year-round. So with that self-serving blog,
Thank you.
we will go on and then
Malcolm?
So Malcolm Lilienthal, running for City Council District 3, and I'm a marriage and family therapist over on Palm Street, and so I deal with all kinds of diagnoses with individuals, couples, children, teens, parenting, anger management, and the such like. I'm running for City Council because I believe that we lack vision here in the Valley, and I'd like everyone's support in allowing me to serve as City Council so that I can direct Hemet into a brighter future.
Thank you very much, Malcolm. Now I'm going to turn the interview over to Judy, and she's going to ask questions, and I'm going to bow out till later on in the program. Judy, take it away.
Well, I am interested in your vision for this city. Where do you see it going in 5 and 10 and 15 years?
I see a city where, well, the main thing is I see a city where people want to come to Hemet versus they're always trying to get out of Hemet and leave. I'd like to see a city where there's less complaints about what's happening and more cohesiveness with all the different cultures and businesses and everyone working together to make sure that this is a prosperous valley. I believe there's a lot of potential here in Hemet, but a lot of things are falling through the cracks and a lot of things are being overlooked. Biggest thing in my view is safety, and so beefed up safety here in District 3 and all of the other surrounding districts is a big concern for me, and I want to make sure that everyone knows that.
Would you be having, say, office hours so that people can come and talk to you and bring their concerns to you? Would you be able to have a dedicated phone line that you would answer their calls, that kind of
Yes.
thought process so that you can be their representative?
Yeah. So I have a face page right now, Malcolm Lilienthal for District 3, and there's been a lot of discourse on that with some of the issues, and I would like to keep that going if I win this election so that people can voice their opinions and things that they want to see happening in the city, because we have to remember that I'm an individual that's going to represent your voice. I'm not coming in this with, to be the king of everything. I'm coming in this because I feel like people's voices aren't being heard. And in the profession I'm in, I also deal with the same thing where I'm often an advocate for, foster children and things like that. So I'm trying to bring that into this where I can be an advocate for everyone in District 3. Like, this is what we would like to see happening in our district. And so I want to make sure that happens.
That's good. How do you see improving maybe even inter-district issues to advance the whole of the city.
So, obviously I'm gonna have to pick the hearts or see like what the other city councilmen are in there for, like their agenda and what they stand for, and see if I can at least meet with them to match their ideas to make sure that we're working together. But I do want to be a strong voice that brings everyone together and make sure that we're leading this together and we're not separate. Like, even though we have different districts, we're still people who live in Hemet, and that's the thing, is we represent Hemet. So one individual or particular district, it's like, let's get together and make sure that, so they have a vision per se. Let's make sure that everyone's vision is met, as long as it's meeting the needs of the community. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to make sure that, or at least I'm gonna make sure that we all work together. That's a big thing for me, is like, we need to work together. We're 5 individuals supposed to be representing people's voices, and we need to make sure that happens. I think that speaks to the accountability element.
Do you see growth in your district in the future?
Yes, especially with the realignment of the 79. There's from connecting Winchester, something to the tune of all the way up to the 10. That's going to bring a lot of, development and a lot of, at least, opportunity for the city of Hemet to really grow. And it's like, we need to make sure that we get ahead of that, connecting with all the businesses here and making sure that everyone's aware and how it's going to affect them, especially those in District 3, because there's a lot of empty land in District 3, over at least by the airport and some other areas, like on between Sanderson and Kirby and Acacia and Johnson. There's a lot of empty space there. So making sure that we're talking to businesses, and is one of the things. When I get in there, I'm going to hold a forum with these business owners through the Chamber of Commerce, if that's how the avenue has to go, to make sure that these people, we're already having a conversation about the future, because we need to have a conversation about the future to make sure that each day we're moving in that direction, instead of just doing everything, with no plan.
Mm-hmm. Affordable housing issues, homelessness issues. Do you see the city's role in seed money or encouraging community trusts to come in to help build affordable housing on some of the city property that might be out there?
Unfortunately, I don't see that in the future of this city, because, looking back on past city council meetings, land that could have been devoted, to some of those things, that was struck down. My plan is to at least develop something that can cater to someone who's homeless or someone who is, struggling financially. Banning has a really good plan for like low income housing,
Mm-hmm.
and that can serve as at least a landing for, or a sending off kind of gesture for people who are struggling financially. You get them in a low income home, and then you work with them through all the nonprofits and all of the, some of these agencies out here